ho! Welcome or welcome back. Out and about on the Royal Enfield Classic 650 today with Andy, Gazza and Colin up here. Dodging the inevitably busy August sunny Sunday traffic. Perfect storm for traffic up here in the Yorkshire Dales is August summer holidays, of course, and a Sunday, and this fine weather we've been having. It's proven to be and continues to prove to be an excellent summer. Stunning. And this is exactly what you need to do to keep you sane in this mental world of ours. You would be right in my line there, wouldn't you, pal? It's a bugger, is that bend. Yeah, this is just what you need to get away from the absolute insanity out there. Although I do occasionally get people saying, oh, will you just stop the social commentary stuff, the current affairs and all that. But the majority of people like the rants. And that's what I'm getting from the feedback. So, a couple of days ago, I notched up another 1,000. So now 19,000 subscribers. Thank you ever so much to everybody. And as some of you may well be aware, what I would really like to do is to hit 20,000 before the year's out. So to hit 20,000 round about Christmas time, or even a little bit before, would be wonderful. And that'd help me take you to even more stunning places like this. And yes, I get theatrical with the old left hand. And a couple of people said in the old comments, wouldn't you be safer with both hands on the handlebars? Well, yeah, I'd be safer if I didn't ride a motorcycle altogether, wouldn't I? I'd be safer if I didn't walk down the road. I'd be safer if I stopped in bed and never bothered getting up. What's your point? Dear me. Look at this. Oh, a bit of off-roading going on up there. Yeah, don't fancy trying that. That's a bit too off-road for me. I don't mind the odd bit of grass and gravel, but I draw the line at that. Motorcycle mountaineering, not for me. Now, yeah, yesterday I went to the BSA Open Day at Eddie's Moto in Tadcaster. It was a bit of a spur of the moment thing. I didn't think I was going to be able to make it, and then I found myself at a bit of a loose end at lunchtime. So I dropped in, and I'm mightily glad I did, because I met a lot of subscribers. Probably the most that I've ever met in one stop, and an absolute pleasure to speak to all of them, and also an absolute pleasure and honour to speak to Eddie himself, Mr. Eddie Wright. What a gentleman, and what a motorcycling legend. And spent best part of an hour chatting to Eddie. He sought me out. I was just sat there having a brew, and this gentleman approaches me and says, "Are you the Bingley Wheeler?" And of course I fessed up, and he said, "I'm Eddie Wright." And I said, "The Eddie Wright?" Yep, the one and only indeed. And of course, for those of you that remember Eddie Wright motorcycle dealership, Kirkstall, Leeds, I remember it very well, as a big Harley Davidson dealership. And yeah, that business and the one now at Tadcaster built up pretty much single-handedly by Eddie himself, who reliably informs me, and he's in his late 70s, is still doing motorcycle and sidecar racing. Good on you, sir. Yeah, but what a fascinating exchange that was. Aye. So if you are in the market for a BSA or a Royal Enfield, or perhaps one of the Chinese brands, the very, very affordable but very, very well spec'd Chinese adventure bikes, for example, anything like that, and you're in the sort of North Yorkshire area, then get yourself to Eddie's Moto in Tadcaster, and it's just 10 minutes ride from the famous Squire's Cafe, the Milk Bar. Squire's Cafe, a very big motorcycle meeting venue, and food and drink aplenty there, and of course a shop, a clothing and accessories shop. So yeah, always well worth a visit up there. Get yourself to Eddie's. Oh, and a quick conversation with Kieran, who actually manages day-to-day business there. And as of yesterday, about 50 BSA Bantam 350s sold. How's about that then? And very obvious from the viewing figures on my reviews of the two new BSAs, the Bantam and the B65 Scrambler, that the Bantam 350 is far and away above the B65 in terms of popularity and interest. Of something like 24,000 views currently. By the time you see this, it'll be a lot more than that, I would have thought, for the Bantam review, and only about 5,000 or 6,000, 7,000 for the Scrambler. But yeah, the Scrambler, without a doubt, my favourite of the two. But each unto their own. I can absolutely understand the appeal of that little single cylinder thumper, that Bantam 350, that legendary name, and the fact that currently only £3,500. So if you want one, there's a limited allocation to the UK for this year, and they are fast running out. So what I suggest you do, if you want one, is you get to Eddie's, speak to them there, and get this a deposit down, otherwise they'll miss out. but you can't have a yellow one until next year. But the other colours are very nice too, the black, the blue and silver, and the red. Now Gazza there in front of me is on his Interceptor, because his other bike is another bike I have much respect and admiration for, Suzuki V7 800DE. I reviewed that a couple of years ago. If you go look at the back catalogue, very impressed with that bike, it's a cracker. But he's on his Interceptor today. Look at that. Aye. Yeah, so I started off by making reference to the fact that not everybody likes the social commentary, political with a small p. I don't do party politics because, as I've said on many occasions, there ain't one party on offer in this country that caters for all my thoughts, beliefs, hopes and dreams and expectations for this country. So I shall remain homeless for the time being. Hey, we're going to have to set up my own party, the Mature Motorcyclists Common Sense Party. How's about that? Is that a runner? Can't be any worse than what's currently on offer, can it really? I had a mind this week after seeing a couple of stories on the news that perhaps, as well as the occasional bell end comment of the week or month award for this channel, I should have a bell end politician of the week or month award. The only trouble is, on that basis, I don't think there's a company on the planet that could make enough bell end awards to cater for our political classes. There just have to be one single collective award for bellendery that goes to all of them. But the two that made me laugh, because it's free entertainment with these here politicians, I think it's hilarious. It's because there's no decent comedy on telly anymore, is it? It's all shit. People coming on and thinking they're funny and doing stand-up and all of that, and they're not funny. They're just bloody self-obsessed up their arses. But I'm talking, you know, about the days that I remember, 60s, 70s, 80s, when comedy were comedy, whether it was stand-up or situational comedy sitcoms. There were some absolute howlers out there where you'd be laughing that much, you know, your bloody sides would be splitting, your belly would be aching. Yeah, and I'm thinking, you know, the Les Dawsons, the Billy Connolly's, all of them, even Bernard Manning. Funny people and decent sitcoms, you know. Some others do have them. Fond memories are rolling about laughing at some of them, but not anymore. So yeah, the best comedy currently is either the Bingley Wheeler channel or politicians. And we need to find them funny, because if we didn't find them funny, it'd be tragic, wouldn't it, the way things are going. But me two for this week, or for last week rather, from either end of the spectrum. So in the interests of balance, there's one from both ends of the political spectrum. And first one, because this is chronological in the sense that this first bell end award, it's the first one I became aware of on the news, on the rare occasions when I drop into the news. And it were a fella called Rupert Lowe, who apparently started off as a Reform MP and then fell out with them because even they weren't right-wing enough for him. What were that? Oh yeah, speaking of brilliant British comedies, Blackadder, one of the best. What was that one? Oh, I forget who played the character, but they were one of these that I think somebody sort of said to this fella, do you want a table to serve your food on? And he said, why do I need a table when I've got men's backs I can eat off? You know, that uber mad fascist right wing bloody character. And so yeah, this here Rupert Lowe character, I sort of cast him in that mould. But apparently he were on the coast somewhere with his binoculars, and he's looking out to sea with his ear binoculars, and he sees four white blokes as it happens, rowing a boat up the coastline, and immediately reports them to the border agency as migrants. Oh dear. And of course it transpires it's just four professional, semi-professional rowers rowing round the British coast for charity. I can't remember what the charity was. Was it motor neurone disease or prostate cancer or something like that? I just can't quite remember. But this is interesting, isn't it? Here, look at this here. Look at this. Hey, don't wave him through yet, Colin. He's going to drive over Andy's foot. Excuse me. I don't know. Anyway, where were I? Oh, it transpires it's a charity rowing event, and this bell end sees them with his binoculars, and because he's got this one-track mind, thinks, oh, must be asylum seekers. So reports them to the Borders Agency. Anyway, what an absolute tool. But as is often the case, some good came of this, because when he realised what an absolute bloody arse he'd been, he donated £1,000, which to him, like £1,000, you know, be like me giving somebody 10 pence. But I'm sure they were very grateful for it, so he gave £1,000 to that particular charity. And I apologise, I can't remember which charity it was, but it was a very worthwhile cause. So they got £1,000 on the back of his utter bellendery, which I suppose is well and good, isn't it? Hey, but what a complete knob. Now, other one, this made me laugh even more, this other one, other side at spectrum. So, the American Vice President, arguably second most important man on the planet, decides to have holiday in this country, in the Cotswolds, which is a beautiful part of the world. And of course, apparently he's best mates with our Foreign Secretary, David Lammy. Apparently they're quite good friends going back a ways. So obviously he comes over to the Cotswolds and ends up spending some time with the Foreign Secretary. Now, It is reported, I'll just say that, it is reported that whatever venue the old vice president, the VP, JD, the VP, whatever location JD, the VP, was staying at for his holidays, apparently the American Secret Service went around knocking on the doors of locals and wanting to know all their social media details, like the Facebook accounts and their Instagram accounts and their Twitter and all of that. Like, oh, we need to know if there's people in the vicinity that have been slagging off JD the VP on social media. So of course, Brits being Brits, the majority of them did exactly what I did and told them to fuck off. Hilarious. Yeah, can you imagine that? So American CIA agent knocking on your door saying, "Hi, well, we've got somebody important visiting, so we need to know all about your Facebook and your Instagram and your Twitter, X, and all your other social media." Yeah, hey, I tell you what, if they'd have knocked on my door and done that, they'd have been swiftly introduced to Eddie without his muzzle on. Oh, bloody hell, you can go bollocks. And for the avoidance of doubt, if that had been somebody from MI5 or Special Branch or whoever in this country that had knocked on the door and asked the same question, they'd have got the same response. So please don't be taking offence, my American friends. It's an issue I have with authority and the establishment, not the country. Aye, but anyway, so there were that. But what were even funnier still, this really made me laugh, and what this serves to illustrate is it doesn't matter how big and important you are, you're not necessarily going to get your way, especially if you're visiting another country. So anyway, apparently he's a bit of a fisherman, is JD the VP. He's a bit of a fisherman, a bit of an angler, and I don't know if old Lammy is as well, but they both end up fishing in this here local river. But what they hadn't bothered to check was if it were legal, and it transpires it wasn't legal. Hey, it wasn't legal. So they didn't have a permit, so they're fishing, so they're breaking law immediately. And of course, if that were you and me, we'd be getting a fine, wouldn't we? We'd be getting fizzed, and we'd be getting a fine. But of course, no. What happens is a permit suddenly gets expedited. Oh dear, permit suddenly appears, hastily printed, making it legal. Bloody hellfire, you couldn't script it, could you? What a couple of bell ends. And then apparently, this is the funniest one. So apparently they make a booking for dinner at this quite well-renowned plush eating establishment. I think it was like an old 16th century pub, something like that, but somewhere, you know, fairly high-heeled establishment, good quality cuisine and all of that. So the bookie there. So apparently the owners or the management accept this booking and tell the staff who's coming, David Lammy and JD the VP, and then staff turn round and say, well, if you're inviting them, we're not turning up for work. Aye, we're not turning up for work. So they had to cancel booking, and bar 'em. So, British Foreign Secretary and American Vice President get barred from this here pub in Cotswolds because staff have said, if you have them two bellends in here, we're not serving them, we're not coming to work. Oh, power to the people. Well done. Love it. Oh, that made my week. Eh? Can you imagine it? The American VP comes to visit good old Blighty. Nearly gets grassed for illegal fishing and then gets banned from local pub. Because staff don't want to serve up any bell ends like him. Hey, can you imagine the expression on the faces when they got told? I can just imagine Lammy's face. Like a cat's ass, wouldn't it? Oh dear. Oh dear. He'd have a face like a freshly scalped pair of arse cheeks. Oh dear. Oh dear, I shouldn't tell tales like that when I'm out riding. It's not good for the concentration. But guys, what can I say? So, Rupert Lowe, David Lammy, JD Vance, you made my week. Thank you. Absolutely bloody hilarious. But you do get the Bell End Politician of the Week award. All three of you. Watch me get shadow banned now. I bet nobody gets to see this in the States. Mind you, no, States, the US, somewhere I've always wanted to visit. I'd love to visit United States. I'd love to see, particularly Yosemite, where my photographic hero Ansel Adams was prolific with his absolutely stunning, breathtaking black and white photographs of, amongst other places, Yosemite. I'd love to go see you there, you know. I'd love to go to Vermont in the fall. All of these places, but let me tell you, I daren't. Not least because of rants like that. Because I think there was probably a time not that long ago when you could say anything you want and nobody would take offence over there and you'd be fine. But I don't believe that to be the case anymore. And recent history would suggest that I'm right. So anyway, no offence, my American friends, love the country, love the people, love the sort of American culture, the hard work to become successful culture. I love all of that, and we could do with a dose of it over here. However, until until things settle down over there and foreign visitors are not getting dragged into custody for something that they might have said on social media, until that time comes around, I'll be staying put. Sorry guys. And with that little summing up of national and global events, I will now let you just sit back and enjoy some of this fabulous scenery, and ask you if you would please subscribe to the channel to help me continue doing what I do. If I don't have growing subscriptions, I don't have a channel. It's that simple. And of course, subscribing is completely free. now and forever. So please, if you'd subscribe, I really would appreciate that. And of course, click a like, and feel free to share. And until the next time, and in the meantime, ride safe, be kind, and I'll see you. Whoa, whoa.